So you know you want to live near the beach and you've been doing a lot of research online and Satellite Beach keeps popping up on your searches? Well, in this video, I'm going to go over the pros and cons of living in Satellite Beach right after this. My name's Larkin and I'm a real estate agent here on the Space Coast, and I do regular videos just like this one, talking about living, working, playing, and of course some real estate updates. If this is something that you're interested in, you should probably hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you're notified every time I put up new videos just like this one. And if you are moving either into the Space Coast or you're moving out of our area, I'm certain that you have questions. Well, I hear from folks just like you every day, and I answer their questions about making a move, and I'd love to hear from you too. You could either call me, you could text me, you can comment below. If you're on social media and on any of these platforms, you can contact me there, send me a DM, and I'd be happy to help. Let's get on with this video on Satellite Beach. Every town, every city, every community that you've either lived in or you're gonna be living in soon, they have their pros and they have their cons. And in this video, I'm gonna go over some of the pros and cons of living in Satellite Beach. I'd like to start with Captain Obvious here. You're looking to move into a beach community. Let's talk about Satellite Beach and their beaches. So Satellite Beach, just like any other beach town here in Brevard County, we've got miles of sand to enjoy. Some of the things I love that Satellite Beach has to offer is their beach access. So they have, between the city of Satellite Beach and the north end, which is Satellite Beach, but Brevard County, I'm lumping them all into one for this video. You've got 5 parks that are directly on the ocean that get you great beach access. These parks all offer free parking. The ones at the north end, Seagull and SPRA Park, they have just parking and the crossover to get to the beach. But if you go to Hightower Beach or if you go to Pelican Beach, besides the free parking, you also have a pavilion for, there's restrooms, there's showers and that type of thing. Pelican Beach also offers some covered parking, which happen to be solar arrays as well. They have great pavilions for picnics or family gatherings that you have to reserve through the city. They also have volleyball courts too. The other beach park that that Satellite Beach has to offer is Crowdy Beach Park, which is more towards the south end of town, and behind Balsa Bill's Surf Shop, Papagala or Morning Glory, those 2 restaurants, there is a section called Shell Street. And the city of Satellite Beach has set up restrooms there, and there's free parking, and there's also the beach access too. So besides the parks that are right there on the ocean, you also have at least 3 streets that you can park on in Satellite Beach that get you beach access that also has free parking. You have Grant Avenue, you have Magellan Avenue, and you also have Palmetto Avenue too. So the con that I see about some of the beach access points in Satellite Beach, if you're not near one of those parks or one of those 3 streets, the other beach access points are for foot traffic or for riding your bike. So you can't pull up your car and park it to unload in order to get to the beach. You've got to get a little bit more strategic on getting your stuff to the beach itself. And if the parks or the streets happen to fill up, then you'll have to find alternative ways of getting your stuff from your house to the beach. I like to have an adult beverage when I'm at the beach from time to time, and if you're thinking of enjoying that as well, the city, inside the city limits of Satellite Beach, they don't allow alcohol on the beach, so keep that in mind. And the section of beach here in Satellite Beach, actually it starts at the hangars at Patrick Space Force Station all the way down to just past O'Galley. There's sections of the beach that actually has coquina rock in the surf. So fortunately, Satellite Beach does a very good job of marking their crossovers that get you to the beach if there happen to be rocks there to make you aware of it. But I'd like to make you aware of it too. That's the one con that I see about Satellite Beach, is the threat or the chance of having coquina rocks where you want to go hang out and enjoy the surf. So what I think is a definite pro of living in Satellite Beach, you're surrounded by water. You know, I was just talking about the oceans and the beach access that you have from the city. But on the west side of town, you have the Banana River and the Grand Canal as a west boundary as well. So this is great if you want to live on the water and have a boat and get out and play on the riverways that we have here in Brevard County. Plus, the Satellite Beach area, you're south of the 404 or Pineda Causeway, and the bridge connecting the beach to the mainland over the Banana River has a height of only 43 feet. So if you have a sailboat with a larger mast and you want to get to the intercoastal, it's really easy from Satellite Beach. You just head south along the Banana River, you go through the swing bridge at Mathers Bridge, go around Dragon Point, and you're there on the intercoastal to go and enjoy our waters. And if I was to say there's a con about living on a canal or the Banana River in Satellite Beach, would be you're quite a distance from the beach. So if you wanted to live on the canal or a river and you also wanted to have a easy walk to get to the beach, it's going to be a hard time finding it in Satellite Beach, because if, as you can see with where the parks are at or the beach access points, you're a good 1.5 to 2 miles away, at least as the crow flies. And if the crossroads don't line up for you for an easy walk, you're going to have a little bit of a hike in order to get to the beach, but I think it's worth it. So another pro of living in Satellite Beach has to be the parks that the city has for its citizens to enjoy. I've already mentioned the oceanfront parks, you know about those, but they have some great tennis courts. They have racquetball courts. They have baseball fields. They've got the volleyball courts at Pelican Beach that I mentioned earlier. There is a dog park, so your dogs can get out and exercise and have fun with other dogs. And also right next to the dog park, Satellite Beach has an amazing skate park. So if you have kids that are into that sort of thing, or maybe you like to skate too, you could channel the inner Tony Hawk and get out and have some fun at the Satellite Beach skate park. And there's also a couple nights, I think 2 nights of the week, that they allow BMX bikes also to go out and have fun on the skate park ramps. Satellite Beach also has Sampson Island. Now this is a great park for you to take your boats over to. You can kayak to, you can canoe to, stand-up paddleboard, that type of thing. And there are trails for you to explore. There's wildlife for you to enjoy. And they even have primitive camping sites if you're into that type of thing. The con about getting to Sampson Island is Satellite Beach, at least I'm not aware of, having a public boat ramp for you to launch your boat from. So unless you're living on a canal or have a friend that lives on the canal or river, you're gonna have to travel a little bit in order to get to it. As far as I'm aware, the only place that I know to launch my kayak from is I have to go to the 404, the Pineda Causeway, and paddle south, or I'll go to Indian Harbor Beach at Oars and Paddles by Mathers Bridge, and then paddle north in order to get to Sampson Island. So if I'm wrong and you know of a public boat access point where you could either launch your boat or launch your kayaks and stand-up paddleboards, please let me know. Comment below, give me a call. And there's one other con. I personally don't think it's a con because I'm not one that golf, but Satellite Beach doesn't have a golf course. So if you're wanting to live really close to a golf course, Satellite Beach might not be the area, especially if you wanted to live on the golf course and live near the beach. Satellite Beach is definitely out. The only golf courses that I know that are beachside are, if you are military, Patrick has a golf course. City of Cocoa Beach has 27-hole golf course, and in Melbourne Beach, south of 192, there's also a golf course there. But I don't think that's too big a deal because you got the water and you got the beach to enjoy, right? Let's talk about the location of Satellite Beach. Here's another pro in my opinion as well. So yes, you are beachside. You're on a barrier island. You're surrounded by water. The north end of town is the 404, the Pineda Causeway, which gives you easy access if you needed to get to the mainland and wherever you'd like to go on the mainland. South of Satellite Beach, you have the O'Galley Causeway, and again, the same thing. It'll connect you to the mainland. It'll connect you all the way to I-95, so if you need to get out and about, it's easy access for that. Running straight through the eastern border is A1A. So A1A is a fantastic road to get around your beach community. And on the west side of town, you have South Patrick Drive, which is your north to south corridor on the west side of Satellite Beach. And if you're on either of those thoroughfares, the A1A or South Patrick Drive, there are plenty of crossroads that make it easy to go east and west as well. They're usually a traffic light or stop sign, so you know if you hang right at that light or a left at that light, it'll take you all the way through town to the east or the west side. Now, the con to living in a barrier island, and if you're not from this area, it could be just living in Florida itself, is the threat of hurricanes. Yes, from June through November is hurricane season, and if you live in Florida, especially on the barrier islands, you have to be aware of that. Now, the con to living on a barrier island is if a storm is approaching and the governor says mandatory evacuation for the barrier islands, then anybody living east of US 1 is supposed to evacuate. And of course, in a beach community like Satellite Beach, that means you. So because of the threat of storms and the fact that you live on a barrier island that's surrounded by water with the ocean and the Banana River, when it comes to your homeowner's insurance, you're also going to pay a lot more for your insurance for living on Satellite Beach I live in a beach community, and I think it's just the price of living in paradise to be able to walk to the beach whenever you want to. But what is really surprising when you think beach and you think of storms and surge and that type of thing, living on a barrier island like Satellite Beach, you're probably going to need flood insurance, right? Well, surprisingly, according to the flood maps anyway, most of Satellite Beach is in flood zone X, which means no flood insurance is required. Of course, if you're an oceanfront property or a riverfront property, you probably more than likely are in some type of flood zone, but the interior part of Satellite Beach, 99% of it is in flood zone X. Property taxes, you gotta pay them, and this is the scoop on Satellite Beach and their property taxes. So Satellite Beach has the highest property taxes of anybody along the A1A corridor. So you pay a little bit more for your property taxes in Satellite Beach. You're actually the third highest for the entire county, so that's something to take into consideration as well. But if you look at what the taxes are, the millage rate for 2020 for Satellite Beach is $19.80 for every $1,000 of value. So you'll have to decide if that is too steep or not to enjoy living in Satellite Beach. Let's talk about the schools in Satellite Beach. So if you're moving to Satellite Beach and if you have kiddos, schools are probably important to you. There are, depending on where you live, there are 3 elementary schools. There is 1 middle school, and then there's Satellite Beach High. Now, I can't get into, as a real estate agent, they frown upon if I start talking about a good school or a bad school, but what I can do is refer you to some good resources to see if these schools are right for you. So if you go to Florida Today, the link will be in the comments below, you can see how they rate the Satellite Beach schools. And if you go to a site like School Digger, you can see what School Digger says about Satellite Beach's schools too, and you can see they're not too bad. And finally, for Satellite Beach, I am a real estate agent, so I've got to talk about real estate. These are the properties that you have available to you if you're considering Satellite Beach. Satellite Beach, for all the beach communities, they sell more homes every year consistently over any other town that's along the A1A corridor, so that opens up a lot of options for you. Houses can be as small as 900 square feet, which was built in the mid-50s, all the way up to the huge custom homes that are on Lansing or Tortoise Island that are well over 7,000 square feet of living space. So you can have an oceanfront house, you can have a canal front house, you can have a riverfront house, and there's also plenty of dry lots too. And what I mean by dry lot, it's just like it sounds. Your backyard neighbor and or your side neighbors are not on the water and your properties are all touching, hence a dry lot. Satellite Beach offers regular communities where you can just drive up to the house, and they also have quite a few gated communities too. And if you're curious about what it costs for a house along Satellite Beach for 2020 sales, home sales were ranging from $181,000 to the low end, $1,880,000 for the high end. Satellite Beach has a great selection of condos, and most of the condos are along the A1A corridor. So Satellite Beach has a good amount of oceanfront condos, and they also have a selection of them that are on the west side of A1A too, so I'd guess they'd be dry lots. And at the north end of town, there's also some near the 404 that are either on the canalways or they're dry lot condominiums too. Satellite Beach doesn't have the height restrictions that some of the other cities along A1A do, so you can have taller condos to choose from. It's not uncommon to find a condominium that's over 5 stories tall in Satellite Beach. And you can get condo sizes from under 500 square feet to a nice little efficiency that's on the west side of A1A, all the way up to over 3,500 square feet, massive penthouse condos that are directly on the ocean. Give you an idea of what condominiums sell for in 2020, you can get a condo at the low end of about $75,000, all the way up to the high end of $1,399,000. So there's a big range of condos for you to look at. So besides the condos and single family homes, you also have a choice of duplexes or half duplexes that are all, for the most part, dry lots, and they range in price for 2020 from $143,000 on the low end to just over $500,000. So there are a lot of options for housing in Satellite Beach for you, which is definitely a pro. And some other random facts that I just love about Satellite Beach, they are all about the residents. They want long-term folks living in their community, so they kind of frown upon the short-term rentals and Airbnb style type properties. So if you're living west of A1A, which most of the homes and condominiums are, then you don't necessarily have to deal with or worry about having short-term residents moving in next door and then have the turn of the Airbnbs like you see in other beach communities. They do allow short-term rentals on the east side of A1A, but that is still a 30-day minimum, which I think is great. City of Satellite Beach is big on renewable energy. I might have mentioned the covered parking that's at Pelican Beach that are actually solar arrays, so it generates electricity for the events that happen there, like the Thursday Farmers Market, which I think is a great move for the City of Satellite Beach. They also have solar arrays on top of City Hall that helps bring power to the municipality buildings that are there around City Hall too. Is it the perfect town? It's hard to say. That I don't think there's a perfect town anywhere in this country, even though there's a lot of amazing, great ones like the City of Satellite Beach. And if this town makes sense for you and you're considering a move, I would love to hear from you. You can call me, you can text me, you can comment below. Plus, if you stuck around this long with the video, you probably like the information that I'm telling you about. And if you haven't done so already, you should definitely hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you're notified every time I put up new videos. And I'm also queuing up 2 more videos for you to watch next. My name is Eric Larkin. I'm a realtor with Remax Aerospace here on the Space Coast. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you on the next show.